Afternoon, and thanks for joining us on First Alert Weather Plus. I'm your host, meteorologist Cruz Medina, here with meteorologist Melanie Layden.
We're talking about something that a lot of you might be experiencing lately, and it's just that cold, dry air that we have typically in February, really all the winter months, and how it's impacting your health, making you feel maybe a little sick, a little dry, stuffed up, maybe even some nosebleeds too.
Yeah, there's a lot of symptoms that come along with this, and I know I'm pretty susceptible to it, so I like to sleep with a humidifier.
Yep.
We'll actually talk more about why that's a good thing and why you should have one in your home in just a moment. But let's talk about something that I think a lot of people do. So even though it's winter right now, I am guilty of sleeping with a fan.
Me too.
I almost have to have it. It's the noise for me. I have to be freezing cold to fall asleep. And with that, there are some impacts that you should be aware of. So first of all, I also suffer from allergies. The fan, blows things all over the place. So any dander from your pets, any hair, any dust that's on the floor, it just all ends up, coming up. So you're not only breathing that in, but it's also drying out your eyes and your skin.
That's right. And it can trigger those allergies too, and really dry out your eyes, as you mentioned, your skin too, and just kind of all make us feel a little crummy this time of year. So if you do sleep with one, we have a couple solutions for you.
We sure do. So as you go to sleep with the fan on, you should probably have that humidifier. So we told you we're going to tell you more about that. That is a huge deal. So you have to add moisture back to the air. You already have, in the wintertime, things like your central air running. So that's drying out the air, definitely not adding any moisture to the mix. And then if you have a fan on, you're kind of drying it out even more. So all of these ways that you're drying out the air, you have to have a way to replace the moisture. And I'd say a humidifier is probably the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap too. You get them on Amazon. Some of them only about $30 if even. So good investment, especially if you do suffer from all that dry air and dry skin too.
Yeah.
Staying moisturized, especially the ladies out there, that skincare routine. You're probably going on a little extra now with these dry months, but making sure you're moisturized, not just your face, but your whole entire body. Body lotion, hand creams that can really help you out from that dry, cracked skin that we get. And just staying hydrated, drinking lots of water this time of the year. You have your water bottle with you. Just good for your health all in all, but especially in these dry winter months too.
Yeah, so just to expand on that, a few tips, and this is something I found from researching. So I don't do it, but I will start doing it. When you shower, if you take warm showers like me, or I actually take hot showers.
Same.
You should take warm showers, so dialing it back a little bit.
Okay.
And scientists say that you should, keep your showers from 5 to 10 minutes this time of the year. So it's because you're drying yourself out with that hot water, right? So you should be trying to get out of it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And then another little tip to help you out there is put lotion on as soon as you get out of the shower. Like I know your skin might still be a little damp, like obviously dry yourself off. And then while you're still a little damp, then you put the lotion on. That helps to lock in the moisture is what I was reading. So that's something I could certainly do.
Same.
I do put on lotion after I shower, but it's usually not immediately. So I guess it's not as effective. And then I was also seeing that if your skin turns red, then your showers are too hot. So I come out of the shower looking like a lobster. I guess I'm going to have to turn it down at some point.
Goodness. Me too. And everyone likes a hot shower. Okay, well, let's talk about the difference between a humidifier and an air purifier. Some people maybe are wondering, what's the right one for me? So let's talk a little about that.
Yeah, so purifiers, they're meant to improve your air quality, get rid of odors, volatile organic compounds. That's things that you find in like cleaning products. They can help reduce allergies and things of that sort too, as they kind of suck up all of that dust and, just things that are in your air. Versus a humidifier, so we've been talking a lot about this. Humidifiers are especially helpful this time of the year. So when you're inside for increased amount of times during the winter, you're exposing yourself to all of these viruses that are in the air. So you don't want to do that for certain, but you have to find a way to, kind of not moisturize the air, but add moisture to the air, just so it's not so dry. That also helps to kill some of those viruses. A purifier can do that as well, but with a humidifier, you're also lubricating your nasal passage. You're adding lots of moisture to the air by using a humidifier, and it helps relieve congestion.
And I know it sounds kind of gross, but those mucous membranes, that's what actually prevents us from getting sick. And in this dry air, it's easy for those mucous membranes in our nose and our faces to actually crack. And that's what lets those viruses in. That's why in the winter time, especially with the cold, dry air, we get so susceptible to illnesses, things like the flu, COVID, just a common cold, things like that. Because when you are just kind of out and about, out and you're just so dry, that dry air, that's what's causing that for you to feel sick and congested. It's just better to have a humidifier just to kind of help you get that moisture back in the air.
It really does. So I have a Vicks humidifier,
Yeah.
and I like to even buy the little cooling
Yes.
patches. You know, it kind of puts the vapors into the air for you. That's just like an easy way to kind of kick an illness out.
Yeah.
It really just adds all that moisture too. So a lot of times when your body's overproducing mucus, it's because your tract, your nasal, your sinus tract and all of that is too dry. So it's overcompensating for that. But here are some best practices, if you will, to prevent issues with dry air. So you mentioned this earlier. It's drinking more water.
Yeah.
That could solve a lot of your problems. I'm constantly at our water station here. So
I'm trying. It's hard. When you want your coffee or your soda in the middle of the day, I try to drink so much water. And it's good just not for your health, but your skin too, to keep you moisturized.
Well, I'd say, something to help with that is just find a cup that you like.
Yeah.
A lot of people are on the Stanley craze right now, but I'm still rolling strong with my Yeti. So whatever makes you want to drink water, that's what I would go with. So obviously the humidifier, we've hammered on that a lot. Taking the warm instead of hot showers, moisturizing after showering and after washing your hands. It drives me crazy at work. Using the restroom, I wash my hands and then all of a sudden my hands,
dry.
I feel like if I rubbed against something, my skin would break. So we've got community lotion in the studio. So just maybe you keep some at your desk in your office, whatever that takes to keep yourself moisturized. And then this one's an interesting one, is using the right lip balm. So
this is a huge one. For me, it's just the good old-fashioned Vaseline. That one works the best. I can eat chapstick, sure, but the Vaseline, morning and night in this kind of weather, really helps me out because you're right, like your lips get so dry and chapped in this kind of weather. So whatever works. There's tons on the market, but
it does matter. And
that one's cheap and it does the trick.
That's right. We love cheap items. So another thing that I'll add to this list is if your nose and throat get really dry, try something that would kind of help to lubricate it. So a nasal spray, just a saline spray to kind of add some moisture up there. Something that I do if my nose is really dry is Vaseline, like you were saying with a Q-tip. Swirl it around in your nostrils just to, you're kind of breathing in those vapors, but also you're adding moisture to your nose. So there's lots of things that you can do to prevent dry air issues. We just wanted to go over a few with you and remind you that there are ways to combat this. Because we're going to deal with it every year during the fall and winter when it gets really dry. And then in the summer with more moisture in the air, those hotter, more humid days, we know that we don't really deal with these problems as much. So right now that it's still relevant, we wanted to kind of give you the heads up on that.
Hopefully it helps you out a good bit.
Yeah. And as always, if you have any additional topics that you're interested in learning about, you can send those to us. My email is cruz.medina@wsmb.com.
Mine's melanie.layden@wsmb.com. We love your story ideas. It's how we get these ideas for First Alert Weather Plus. It's our show we do every day during the week, usually around 1 p.m., sometimes later if we have breaking news. You can find us streaming on Facebook, on our website, and of course on the free First Alert Weather app as well.
And any other major streaming platform. So we look forward to hearing your ideas and also look forward to you joining us next time on First Alert Weather Plus.